Hey fans and subscribers, this is your host Joe on the Gaming for Insight channel with another video for Quick Chat. The topic, which one is more preferred, the G1 or the X1 from onexplayer? Joining me is returning guest Nelly. Nelly, welcome to Quick Chat.
Thank you.
I was asked the question during CES 2025 when I went to visit the onexplayer booth, which device would people rather have, the G1 or the X1? That is the ultimate question here, as both provide versatility and both have striking similarities, but noticeable differences that make each one distinct. Have you discovered in having the X1 and the G1 as of recent, which one provides more versatility to you amongst the both of them here?
This was a question that actually gets asked a lot in any of the videos that I've posted for G1. It's like, what do you prefer? X1, G1, which one's your number one now? And X1 is still number one. That's like my short answer is X1 is still number one. And I say that because the keyboard is just a better, more like similar to a regular keyboard layout. You don't have your question mark in a weird spot, and you don't have your apostrophe in a weird spot. It's just like normal keyboard, and it's a nice layout. You can at least still take it off, same function as that. But when you're pulling the X1 out of your bag, you're pulling out the controller bag, you're pulling out the adapter bag, you're pulling off the keyboard, you're pulling off the backplate. Now you've got this pile of things that are just sitting there. So from like that standpoint, it's like less tempting when you're just like, I just want to play some games. Let me just pull everything out and just like organize myself to play. But the G1, you just pull the keyboard off and then you're gaming. Like you're good. You've got everything in one piece. So the G1's really taken that second place spot for me. My Ally X is just like collecting dust now. I'm using it for this video, but that's just because I want to keep playing with the other devices on the side. And so both devices have really been taking up my time. But the X1, like I'm sitting there playing the G1 and I'm like giving glances over to my X1 and I'm like, do I want to switch over to the X1? And I do, and sometimes I do, but it is a good device to just pick up. If I just want to play really quick, I'll just pull out the G1 and just play with that.
The X1 has definitely had more time to mature as far as it having multiple versions now with different APUs. The keyboard as well, it's easier for me to type on. I have the X1 Intel. It's easier, more approachable for me to type on that keyboard, as my fingers are not as challenged, whereas the G1 keyboard and even the X1 mini keyboard is more of a challenge for me to type those smaller keys there. So I appreciate having that larger form with the keyboard. And then if you're playing with PC controls like Cyberpunk 2077 on the X1 form factor, whether it be the Intel or the 8840U, that's the non-mini version, having that full form keyboard, or the X1 Pro, then you definitely have ease of maneuvering when you're playing with the mouse and keyboard functionality. So let's talk a little bit more about the keyboard and also bring some relevance to the removable parts of both of these form factors. With the G1, you have the removable keyboard that you can put to the side and you can continue using that with Bluetooth connectivity over that protocol. But then with the X1, you have the Joy-Cons, which can be attached, and you have function of the back programmable buttons, and then you can remove the Joy-Cons. You don't have function of those back programmable buttons, but you can connect them to the connector, and then you can use that as a separate controller. Are these features, both of them that are removable, are they significant to you in using these devices further? Do they further promote the device? And does one promote the device more than the other, do you think?
You know, the back buttons is an interesting topic because I suck at games that are like Souls-like. And to dodge, if I don't have a back button programmed to dodge, it is so much harder for me. So on the G1, that's like a little bit of a struggle for me, is that I don't have that back button option to be able to program. So I have to get used to playing with them, as much as, again, I'm bad at those games. But when I do try to play them, it's even harder because I don't have that back button. I think the convenience of having that controller on the side is really nice. Like to just be able to pull it off and just put the controller. Otherwise with the G1, if you want to do that, you have to bring a separate controller with you or connect a controller. And like that convenience is a really nice piece. Also, like, I have tighter sticks that are installed in my X1, and so I prefer those, like that controller, because it has that little bit more space, that little bit tighter of a stick, and so there's a little bit of a preference to that device just because of that form factor, like being able to pull that off and being able to edit the sticks that are on it, where you're limited to the G1. I tried pulling that apart and I was like, you know what, I'm maybe not going to go any deeper to see what the joysticks look like, and can you change out those modules, and I don't think you're going to be modding that, and I don't know what that looks like if you need to replace it. So if you need to do any like DIY repairs, a little bit harder on the G1.
And that's interesting that you did a mod on the Joy-Cons for the X1, as that was a complaint of many, is that they were just too easy to move around. So modifying them to make them more resistant, that is something that is preferred. I would like to see that myself on a version 2 of the Joy-Cons. Let's transition a little bit and let's talk about the screen display sizes, as they are different for both of these devices and can make an impact on who wants which one. So with the X1, you have that form factor has a 10.95 inch display, 120 hertz refresh rate. The G1, smaller display, 8.8 inches, but 144 hertz refresh rate. So larger refresh rate there. So as far as the screen size, how is that significant for individuals making a determination on which device to go with? Higher refresh rate, larger screen?
I prefer the larger screen, and that's because like, I can connect it to the eGPU and I can use it as a monitor. Like, it's big enough to use it as a monitor. So if you're going in like a traveling trip, or you're going on to a LAN party or something, you can just set that device down, hook it up to the eGPU, and you're set. You don't really have to worry about bringing another portable monitor or something like that. Like, you can use that display and it's fully functional for like an FPS or something. You're not like squinting to figure out, is that an enemy? Whereas with the G1, it is a little bit smaller. It's still like big, but you really have to like lean into it or position it in a way that you can see it, like, because it is that smaller display. But it depends if what you're doing with it. But also, I look over and I'm looking over at the X1, and that's because that display is just so big and beautiful that it immerses me in the game. And next thing you know, it's been hours and I'm like, wow, okay, I've lost track of time because I'm so immersed in this big display. Mm-hmm. Good thing, bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But I do like that larger display, and it's not very heavy. As long as you take off that kickstand on the back, that thing's actually like this thing is weighted. There's a lot of weight to this.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you take that off, the device is actually very manageable for weight. And I think that's a concern that people have when they're picking between these two devices. When you have that display, is like that weight difference.
Yeah, and holding the device by the Joy-Cons with the weight of the display, that can also make a significant difference in which form factor. But yes, the screen does bring you in on the X1. I can at least say that. Now, as far as which one, this is the question. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. When you're on the go and you got less than 5 minutes to grab what you need and go to your favorite destination, which one are you going to grab and why?
I'm probably going to grab the G1, and that's just because I can just grab it and go. Yeah. I don't have to pull out all these cases and like, where's my adapter? Is my adapter charged? Like,
yeah, because you need the Joy-Con case, the Joy-Cons, the connector,
exactly,
the keyboard. Yeah,
yeah. I don't want to just like
one is just packaged all together, and you just grab it, put it in the case. You take a compatible battery pack with you, what you need for power, and you're off to the races. Yeah, absolutely.
Even laying it down, like the X1, I don't like laying it down because there's a little bit of stress, like just in the middle, right? Because the controllers are curved. I don't like putting any stress on that because like, I have foam on the inside, like soft craft foam, to keep it more locked in, because they wiggle a little bit after a while. And so if you put that foam in, then it's not wiggling so much. But any sort of stress to lay it down. So I want to take it apart if I'm taking it somewhere. I don't want to just leave it all together. But the G1, no problem. Just take it with you.
Take it with you, indeed. Nelly, thanks so much for joining Quick Chat. Fans and subscribers, make sure to like and subscribe. Nelly, take care.
You too.